While bombs were falling on Tehran, something else was happening thousands of miles away. And on trading floor, on boardrooms, this is what is happening. A small group of companies who were getting very rich, and most people have no idea about it. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel they launched Operation Epic Fury, a coordinated wave of strikes against Tehran. Within hours, global oil prices spiked, stock markets fell, and ordinary people they started seeing higher prices and higher grocery bills. But with all that happening, a handful of sectors were quietly printing money. And today, I want to talk about exactly what these are. Let's start with the most obvious group, the weapon manufacturing industry. On the very first day of trading after the strikes, Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, the RDX as well, they all surged between 3% to 6%. And all combined shareholder gain was somewhere between $25 million to $30 billion. And that's not over the weeks, that's just one day. The biggest single day winner was Northrop Grumman, up to 6%, because their B 2 stealth bombers were used directly in Iran strikes, and the Lockheed Martin stocks would hit the all time high since the March 2nd. Since the start of 2026, all tensions with Iran had been accelerating, and the sharp prices are climbing 40% before the first bomb even dropped. Here's the thing, this isn't just about stock market. Trump met with the CEOs of major defense contractors at the White House, and after the meeting, he announced they had agreed to a quadruple production of advanced weapons systems. The bigger contracts, longer timelines, guaranteed revenue, and the US is already world's largest military spender, nearly $1 trillion in 2025. And Trump has set the target of $1.5 trillion by 2027. Now, here's the thing, artificial intelligence. Modern warfare is no longer just missiles and bombers. The US had been using various types of AI in this conflict, and to analyze the intelligence, improve surveillance, and accelerate the military calls, it's the kill chain. Identify potential targets, support the operations planning, and that's a massive real world proving ground for AI defense contractors. And then the demand it goes beyond the battlefield because the governments they are not watching this conflict, they are pouring down money into AI surveillance, logistics, military planning tools. The Iran war has essentially become a live advertisement for what AI can do in a combat environment, and the companies they are building those tools and are well aware of it. Now, this one surprised a lot of people, but it actually makes sense when you think about it. The Strait of Hormuz, when it was closed for first time on March 2nd, just days after the strikes on Iran, about a fifth of world's oil and gas it normally flows through the narrow corridor. But that closure it sent again energy prices through the roof, and it reminded every government on earth just how fragile fossil fuel supply chains really are. The International Energy Agency's executive director said he expects one of the main responses to the crisis to be acceleration of renewables, not just because they reduce the emissions, but because they're homegrown, domestic energy sources that no conflict can cut off. South Korea's president said his country's future would be at serious risk if it continued to rely on fossil fuels. Countries aren't going green because it's trendy anymore, they're going green because they're scared of the consequences. And then there's Wall Street, more broadly. Modeling by investment bank Jefferies estimated that American energy producers alone would generate an extra $5 billion in cash flow in March, following a roughly 47% rise in crude prices since the conflict began. The US shell companies especially benefited because they have no assets near the Strait of Hormuz, so all of that oil prices they went higher. War risk insurance premiums for ships trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz it increased as much as 12-fold in some cases. Then the firms who are willing to underwrite those policies are making extraordinary money right now through higher prices and through economic uncertainty. And these are ordinary people. And the people profiting from it are very small, very specific group who were positioned long before the first missile was fired. That's not a conspiracy, that's just how machine works. And the uncomfortable truth is, it's been working this way for a very long time. Drop a comment, what do you think about this? Subscribe for more.